Going to teach you structured query language and transaction management. This is a part of database. When we will study database, what is database and how to create a database, where do we can use a SQL. So there will be some learning objectives like what are structured query language, what are transaction and concurrency management, what do you mean by database recovery and security, and what are distribution and client server database. In this slide or in this video I will discuss only few topics, and about other topics I will explain in detail in the upcoming videos. So before starting SQL, you should know that what is a query. A query is, many students used to respond that a query is a question. Yes, query is a question, but where do we use to write the query? Because of course we are talking about programming. So we will do programming, we will use some interface to write the program. So where do we use to write the query? What is a database? How to create a database, where to create a database, and what is the need to create a database, and how to manage a database. What is a database? It is an organized collection of information about an entity having control redundancy and serve multiple application. Means it is an organized collection of information. For example, I have a class, for example class 6A or 6B, then entire class I am taking attendance from, and the attendance are arranged in alphabetical order, ascending order, from A to Z. The names are like this. And when I will organize the database of my class, then the data will be organized like a organized manner in the form of row and column. I am talking about when to maintain the database in a computer in the form of sheet, Excel sheets, or in the form of some database. So it is an organized collection of information about an entity having control redundancy. Control redundancy means repetition of data and serve multiple application. A query can easily access a database. And SQL is a language used by most relational database management system. What is DDL, DML and DCL? SQL is a data sub-language consisting of three inbuilt languages, that is data definition language, data manipulation language and data control language. MS Access does not support all these three features. Why we are talking about MS Access? Because in MS Access also we are creating a database, and in MS Access it doesn't have the capability to support all these features. What are these three features? That is data definition language, data manipulation language and data control language. And what are these? These are the queries, SQL queries. SQL commands. See, SQL commands is distributed among these following groups, that is DDL, DQL, data definition language, data query language, data manipulation language, data control language and transaction control language. In data definition language, first of all, when we used to create the data, then at that time we are defining the data, we are creating the table. I will let you understand the query, how to write the query, how to define the data, how to create the table. Drop means deleting a table or deleting some data, deleting some row or column. Alter means update a table, that is when we are writing alter a table, then we are changing some criteria to alter the details. Truncate means to delete. Comment, we want to comment something. Rename, we want to rename something. Data query language. Data query language, that is after creating the table we want to select the data from the table. Data manipulation language means now we have created the table, now we want to insert the data, we want to update the data, we want to delete some data from the database, we want to lock a table, we want to merge few tables. Now grant or revoke, that is data control language. We want to give some permission, that for that we are using grant, and revoke, we want to take back that permission. Transaction control language means we want to commit, roll back, save point, set transaction. SQL in brief. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It is commonly used with all the relational database. There is a difference between database and relational database. In database we can create a database only, whereas in relational database we can create relation between the table. When you will study the table, when you will study database, then you will understand why to create relation between two or more table. It is a non-procedural language, means it doesn't have any procedure that in that format only we have to write. It has the facility to define a database view, means we can create, there are few things like we can create a database view here, we can provide security to a table. Integrity constraints means there are primary key, foreign key, these are called integrity constant. Why do we apply integrity constant to a table? To apply to some features or characteristics, unique characteristics to a table, we used to apply integrity constant. Transaction control, just now I have made you understand about transaction control, TCL. Difference between SQL and SQL plus, there is SQL plus also. SQL is a language and SQL plus is an environment. Now SQL command, you can see SQL command DDL, DML, DCL and TCL. So I have already told you about these things. So that was few things I have explained in the concept of SQL query. I hope you'll understand. Thank you very much.